I was like just about to say we're getting really good at this, and then I go to play the intro again because I hit the wrong button.
Why don't you show the folks at home what you have on that little iPad?
I don't have I mentioned it before? I
No.
don't know. Anyway, I blogged about this. If you go to timmyboy.com, but basically, you like that? Yay! But basically, the iPad is running a program called Custom Keypad, so it can send keyboard shortcuts to the laptop that actually changes the shots on
So
Wirecast.
everything we want to talk about today, he's got a button for, and
Just
it's going to come up behind
hit the
us.
button, and I play the intro 5 times because I hit the wrong button.
This is stuff is well beyond me.
Yeah.
I can barely keep up with WordPress, which is what we're going to talk about today.
It is. We have lots of WordPress stuff to talk about.
And we've heard through the Twitter that DS106 Radio rules, but this is not about DS106 Radio.
It's not.
Though we love Dr. Garcia, and I was on the radio last night.
Yeah.
So
We've been giving
UMW
it equal
Blogs.
time. UMW Blogs, you just got done doing a bunch of major updates. This was something that you were worried about for a while, I think.
It was. Martha and me joke all the time because we have about 100 and something plugins and another 180 themes. You've been going through the themes. And haven't upgraded since December, 6 months passed. All these problems we were having, we were like, look, we're not going to touch anything. So I thought when we came to it and I upgraded to 60 some odd plugins and themes and the thing that it was going to break.
So
Everything was going to break.
It was running like 3.0?
It was running 3.0. So it was 2 versions I had to go up. And nothing, it was absolutely seamless. And in the process, we retired a couple of old gold plugins. Anarchy Media Player, which is something we discovered back in 2007, 2006. And we used it for about 5 years, and it hadn't been updated since November of 2008. So for 3 years, and that was a bear, but that plugin is put to rest. And the cool thing is that Chris from Longwood actually pointed out in a comment of all things,
I knew you were going to come back to the comments.
That, hey, look, Viper Video Quicktags actually takes all the shortcode that Anarchy Media Player and makes it solid YouTube videos. So we probably had thousands of YouTube videos that were now shortcode. Well, Chris's link to Viper's Quicktags allows us to convert everything seamlessly.
Yeah.
And what's nice is Viper Quicktags works out of the box, and it works for Blip, Vimeo, YouTube. It still uses short codes, which I'm kind of afraid of. One of the things I found with Viper's Quicktags that I didn't like is if you go to YouTube now, YouTube has that tag that's like YOU dot or T.be. It's like a short link. But if you take that and put it in Viper's Quicktag, it doesn't work.
Okay.
Yeah. So, long story short, we got rid of user themes, which allowed us to edit individual themes, which you couldn't do in WordPress multi-user. That's gone because you can do it now in the network admin.
Right.
We got rid of AntiSpam,
which is spam filtering.
Spam filter.
Yeah.
Reason being is when we asked back in December, they said it was going to be $750 a month.
Per month.
For us to actually keep it going, and that's more than we pay for hosting. So. Nix that.
Now, Academica that's from the people who created WordPress.
Yeah, but a separate company, Automatic.
Automatic. Okay.
Now, ironically, Automatic also was part of the TypePad AntiSpam filter, which is an alternative to Academica. You can see it here.
Right.
And I guess Matt Mullenweg developed this and then gave it to TypePad, and they open sourced it. Now, it does much of the same things. I don't know if it's as good as Academica. It does much of the same things. Problem is right now UMW Blogs, this is throwing an error.
Okay.
So we're looking into that. But in the meantime, we're playing with something else that Andrea R. turned us on to. It's called Comments for Cookies.
Okay.
Is it Cookies for Comments?
Cookies for Comments.
Cookies for Comments.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, this is it. And this is the plugin. I'm playing with this right now. UMW Blogs is only running on Cookies for Comments.
So this is a spam filter.
This is a spam filter,
okay.
and it's Dansha. Dansha was behind developing WordPress multi-user. He's a pretty awesome dude, and he always has had this thing of like if you get the spammers before they even get to your site through Apache. So this is some crazy thing with Apache, CSS, images, timing for them to get, and it kind of tries to calculate what's a spam and what's not.
Yeah.
I'd have to leave it to someone smarter than me to understand why and how it works, but so far it's looking like it's working.
Yeah, and with something as big as UMW Blogs, you would think that it doesn't take very long to notice whether a spam filter is working or not.
I've been watching that feed for comment wide, and so far we had less today than we did yesterday with just TypePad AntiSpam.
Okay.
Now I don't know if there's going to be some critical thing that happens and we get thousands of spam, but that's why I have to watch it.
Yeah.
So I would really like for us to get this and TypePad AntiSpam and a couple of things working together.
Yeah.
But right now
multiple
we'll have to
layers
see.
of it.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, that's great though. And Akismet, it's been good to us for many a year, but that's just too much money.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, we would pay $100, even $200 a month, but
well,
$750.
They're going for, I guess, businesses or something, or maybe there's even other educational institutions with much more money than we have.
There are, and I know some are paying for them.
Students. Yeah. I mean, it's a matter of scale. We were talking about this earlier today.
That's right.
And it's just with Mary Washington, a little over 4,000 students. It's just we're a small liberal arts university, and we just don't have the money to shell out for something like a spam filter, where we would be paying more for that than the hosting for the entire system.
Yeah, and our budget as a group is so small that we would come out of our budget, we'd be left with nothing.
Yeah.
So it just wouldn't be worth it for us. And frankly, I think it's a little bit of price gouging on the part of Akismet.
Well, it's good for us to test out other plugins, too, to know what's out there and to play around with it.
It's like being in the 7-Eleven after the earthquake.
Yeah. So what else is new? New dashboard.
New dashboard.
I think with 3.2 from 3.1, they switched up the dashboard a little bit.
It's kind of cleaner. I mean, I like 3.2 a lot. It's a clean dashboard. We're going to have to do some of the different. We're going to spend some time probably doing some new support material. The really cool thing about 3.2 in my mind is the network admin. Because now you can get in there and it kind of breaks down the themes. And if you're a network admin for a WordPress multi-site, it breaks down the site where if you change the URL, it changes throughout the edit spaces of all those different database spaces. And it just gives you a lot better kind of look and feel of over the individual sites and over editing the individual themes, which is like what user themes did. And it's just clean and really nice. So, and also we did new blog defaults. So we have a plugin there called new blog defaults, which allows blog roll to be overwritten to something like links and make sure all the time zones are the same for all the blogs, and just basically opens up links and sets to certain things.
Tidy up how you want something to look at out of the box.
Exactly. And so that works cleanly.
Cool.
And it didn't work cleanly for us in the previous version. The other thing that's really cool, I think, is now with WordPress multi-site is now we have something called multi-network, and that's a plugin by John James or James John Jacoby.
Right.
And that's a plugin which allows what we did with Longwood to actually keep going. And what we do with Faculty Academy is, UMW Blogs has several networks within it of different map domains that have their own kind of WordPress blog space. So we're going to be experimenting with that to take the old original UMW Blogs, which was called ELS Blogs. And we did that in the kind of 2006, 2007. And we're going to try and import that all into its own network within UMW Blogs as an archive. So that's exciting. Let's see if that works.
Definitely. There's other new things that I think we're catching up on, but they've been around for a while, and we're just now getting to start using them. Custom post types I'm excited about.
And I've never used them.
Yeah, I haven't used them yet, but I see a lot of potential for them because instead of just saying I'm going to create a post or a page, those were the two types of things you could do with WordPress. Now you can create plugins that say, all right, I'm going to create an event. And an event is its own type of post. Similar to like with Tumblr, they'll let you create an audio post or create a video post. You can set those up with plugins and to take advantage of that so that you're creating specific type of post with default settings and things. So
like we talked about that a little bit with exhibit posts for like Marjorie Ock, right? So
distraction-free editor. Have you ever seen this? I didn't know that this existed. In the visual editor now, there's a button to let you go full screen. And if you hit that button, it takes the visual editor, expands it full screen, gets rid of all the menus. You basically have a browser that's completely white and a box to type in.
It's like a Word.
Yeah.
Right?
And you can move your mouse to the top and it'll let you insert the pictures and stuff. But when you move your mouse away, that stuff goes away again. And it's just you typing out there. So it's kind of fun.
It is. I mean, and I like it. I mean, it's such a clean interface. WordPress has been so good to us. And, hey, shout out to Todd Conway and Brian Lamb for commenting. And that default plugin is really great. Now, Brian Lamb, we should have another show, and we should bring in Brian and the folks at UBC because they came up with this great idea of just creating a complete open source solution for the network in general.
Yeah.
And for a university in general. It's kind of what we're doing with UMW.edu with WordPress.
Right.
And we can join forces And what we're starting to see now that we have people like Curtis Gramala, we have people like Ron and Andrea programming for us. We have you on now, with the, right? I mean, really, you're going through the themes and you're starting to like solid, like we maybe are in a situation, we know what's happening at CUNY, UBC, Duke is developing this stuff.
Right.
We come together and we say, here's an open source kind of platform and resources that you could, like Novak is really pushing, you could actually have an entire kind of university ecosystem of the social web at your fingertips, all open source.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, is like, I'll deal with Instructure Canvas right now in place of Blackboard.
Sure.
So that we can get to that. Like, to me, that's completely a stepping stone. Like, yeah, I'll deal. They're great open source, your little LMS, fine. But that's the next step, in my mind.
Yeah. The other thing, you mentioned the themes.
Yes.
So I wanted to pull up here. We've talked about some like really ugly themes that we've still got in there. I mean, we have over 200.
These are like James Farmer theme
we have like
themes.
we had over 180 themes. Like this one was the default theme way back when Kubrik. So you remember like way back 2.0 WordPress, this is what a default theme looked like. And so a lot of people are using these themes where they have very, small width, because they were for monitors that could only fit a certain size.
Right.
But, and, the capabilities of WordPress are so much greater now to where I found this one called Academica, which is like a full-on content management system looking thing. This really shows off the idea that you can make a whole website in WordPress and no one would have that, you wouldn't look at a site like this and say, oh, that's a blog.
And that's why I'm really glad that you're on now here. And just said, because we've been like spread so thin, and I was dealing like this is stuff that we didn't really do.
Right.
And like sitting down for a month now and looking through the themes, and you have a lot of awesome, like the Melville theme I'm using now.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of awesome new themes, plugins, like really tighten up UMW Blogs so that, when we start doing more stuff with the media and pushing the other stuff that we're doing, like the radio and the TV, that's the platform. And we don't even think about it. It's like air.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, you can go as, complex as this. That's the beauty of WordPress is you can get really granular and do a lot of crazy things. Or there's another one here, Theophilus. I don't know if you've seen that. No. It's so minimal, but like the typography is nice. It's using HTML5. It's using, open web standards, so it's loading quickly. There's no bad code in there.
Yeah.
These are the kind of themes that I want to see us pushing forward and having people use, not things like Kubrik.
No, and I'm partially to blame because I love the old like K2 and Kubrik, and I kept them in there because I was kind of the mindset like, hey, this is what WordPress started with.
Right.
But you're absolutely right. Yeah. Get rid of them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my biggest concern, and there are some that are classics that still work well and work fine. 2010 is going to be for the several years on. It's a good default, and WordPress actually just doubled down on it. They updated it to HTML5 and fixed it.
I mean, what we need to do, and this is another reason to we need a different show on this, but we have talked with Novak at UBC and his crew, and they're developing a specific theme for WordPress that basically allows a department or a group to go in there and customize the whole thing down the line. And it's like a theme they developed kind of based on the frameworks like Genesis and Thesis and stuff, but its own thing.
Yeah.
And like, I would love, like, he was like, oh yeah, you can use it. It's like, we can lend it to you. We just got to kind of clean up a couple of things. It's like, what if we have all these awesome themes, but then have this one theme or several kind of 2 or 3 themes that people go in there, they do it for their department, and bam.
Right.
And then that kind of blurry line between UMW and UMW Blogs comes home.
Yeah.
Which to me is where I want it to go. I want to blur that line. It's already blurred.
Yeah. Someone on Twitter also mentioned the Weaver theme, so we'll have to take a look at that one. I haven't seen it, but take a look at that.
AJ, that's right. Thank you, AJ.
Yeah.
Awesome. And Todd Conaway. What the hell is the screw tape letters?
I haven't seen it. Kind of like the screw tape.
Oh, we love you, though. Theme? And, hey, thank you for commenting on these through Twitter. I just love what you've done with that.
It's cool.
It's awesome.
It's all right. All right. That's probably enough WordPress for today.
I think it is.
Yeah. All right. See y'all next time.
Take care. DTLT today. For life.
For life. Thank you.